Hey YouTube, it's Amber. So this is gonna be my first video on updating what has been going on with me in the last 16 weeks. Well, 15. It's been that long since I made a video. I made videos, but they didn't upload because poor technology. I don't know, my phone and YouTube, it wasn't working and having trouble making videos. So this is just going to be my 30 to 39 weeks pregnancy vlog. Just letting you guys know how that kind of went and kind of probably the reason why I wasn't making videos or couldn't make videos, because there was just so much going on in life and everything like that. So I'm going to make this as fast as possible because I just recorded it an hour ago and it was like a 16-minute long video and I exited out of it while I was uploading, so that's my fault. So basically the last 9 weeks of my pregnancy were good. I didn't gain a lot of weight. I definitely got bigger because she was getting bigger, and I definitely got sick and was just very busy. Like I said, I had to move, which we moved an hour and a half away, and I had to do training because I'm in the National Guard, and that was 2 weeks long. And then when I came back from that, we were unpacking, and it was just pretty hectic up until the last month. And then, it was just being antsy and excited for her to come and everything. The key points and things that I want to touch base with and talk about that happened, my phone will stay straight, is that when I was in training, I had a gallbladder attack, and that wasn't fun at all. I was throwing up and getting, I might just have to hold this, I'm sorry. I was throwing up and getting sick, and the food there is not super good for you at all. There's a lot of fats, and yeah, it's just not that good for you. But yeah, I knew I was getting sick, and I was worn out from walking, and you don't have to do the same amount of stuff that you do when you're not pregnant, but you still have to do a lot. You don't, I don't know how to explain it, without going into great detail, and I don't know that you all want to or need to understand the National Guard, but basically you're given this profile, and you're not allowed to do a lot of physical stuff and pick anything up over 20 pounds. It's pretty much like a doctor's order, for you when you're pregnant in normal life, just military. So anyways, my gallbladder attack, I just got really sick, and of course they all thought it was pregnancy related. I thought it might have been that even, and I was starting to get a fever, and they were getting really worried, and they were like, do you just want to go lay down? And I was like, no, I just want to finish throwing up, and then can you please take me back to my barracks? Well, by the time they did that, the medics had checked me and had a fever, and they're like, we're not taking you back to your room, we're taking you to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, was admitted, and stayed there for almost 3 days, and left home with medicine, and I was feeling better, but I was still throwing up and taking medicine, which I wasn't very happy about because I didn't like taking medicine while I was pregnant. So when I came home, because I got sent home, I wasn't allowed to finish my training, which in a way I was happy about, but it sucked because we were unpacking and, just moved in here and we had nothing set up, and I'm sick and I'm 32 weeks pregnant. It was just not fun at all. So that kind of shortens that. So basically I will be getting my gallbladder removed. It's just finding the right doctor to do it and making sure that I really do need to do that. Definitely before my next pregnancy, I need to, because it's only going to be worse or just come back as bad. It's not going to be as bad right now, because they say when you're pregnant, most pregnant women have issues with their gallbladder and they don't even know. And I don't know. But anyways, I'm not really worried about it. It's a small scar. It's surgery, but I also had a baby. So if you can go through childbirth, you're tough, and you can go through anything, because yeah. We're not going to get into that yet. So then when I got home, I started having contractions every 2 minutes, went to the hospital, and they're like, if you don't stop contracting, although my cervix wasn't changing, the contractions were pretty regular and they were painful. So that was their concern, is that they were bothering me that much. And so I did have to I was there for like 8 hours, and I had to get a shot to stop the contractions, which made me sick and was painful and was not fun. And so after that, the contractions stopped, but I did have Braxton Hicks up until, early actual labor. I also had a lot of false alarms, went to the hospital a couple times, and had a couple yeast infections, which are not fun. I never had them before. But when you're pregnant, you produce more yeast, so you're more likely to get them. I'm really just throwing a whole bunch of things together because I just want you to know what's been going on. And of course, I will upload pictures, but to sit here and explain all this to you in detail without you necessarily wanting to know is just pointless. But if any of you watch this and you are getting sick and you're late in pregnancy and you have pain, like right here where your gallbladder's right here, definitely get that checked out. I had an ultrasound because they were worried about the baby, which she was perfectly fine, and I was on morphine, so I didn't even get to see her in that ultrasound. But they said she was, I think, 4.5, almost 4.5 pounds when I was 32 weeks. But they said, my gallbladder was backed up and it wasn't cleaning itself out, and it's something that's more common in pregnant women. So if you have any questions for me about that, you can ask me, leave a comment or whatever. But I'm just going to kind of wrap this up so I can move on to my next video, which will be my labor and delivery story, I believe. Weight gain in total was between 20 to 25 pounds. I was around 150 something when I got pregnant and 170 something when I delivered. So I'm really proud of myself. I didn't gain a lot. I did lose some weight in the end because of being sick, because of the gallbladder and being super pregnant, and you're so full of baby that it's just hard to eat, and it's normal in most women. They lose their appetite towards the end, and I definitely did. There was days where I could eat more, but I couldn't eat 3 big meals. You have to eat smaller meals, and there was a few weeks there at the end where I was just eating crackers, Ritz crackers I fell in love with, and ginger ale. or root beer. As far as cravings the last few weeks, my whole pregnancy, you'll see that I said I liked ice cream, that I liked root beer, which now I still like root beer. Ritz crackers towards the end, I'm like, I gotta buy Ritz crackers. So I feel like sometimes the stuff that you crave, I don't know, like I still want it. Maybe that's due to breastfeeding, which I do have to make a video about that, explaining my breastfeeding journey. Let's see. I didn't have too many cravings. I really didn't. I recommend eating a lot of Greek yogurt. If you're hungry, you want something healthy, something that's going to fill you up, but that's not heavy, Greek yogurt with maybe some granola. I said I was sick towards the end. I lost weight, which wasn't fun. But when you see my pictures, you will see that everything that I gained was pretty much baby, except I did swell up quite a bit towards the end. The last week or two, I just really poofed out, which I really wasn't surprised, because I told my husband, I said, oh, you wait, because he thought, seeing the women in the movies, he's like, oh God, you're going to be so pretty when you're pregnant, and, just that cliche idea or picture of a pregnant woman. Let's face it, you don't see that their feet are swollen and they don't have this perfect little shaped belly and they don't have stretch marks and all that stuff. I didn't get any stretch marks really, except for one by my belly button. I had another piercing besides the normal belly button one, and I had scar tissue there, and I think it stretched the scar tissue out, because it didn't really look like a stretch mark, but more like a scar almost. But now that I've had the baby, I lost the weight really fast, so I do have some stretch marks. And you know what? Honestly, I could care less. I mean, it sucks because you don't want them, but I have her, and every one of those marks doesn't even compare to her at all. So, and then the last thing I wanted to tell you about is I had a lot of concerns about the new OB that I was going to be seeing, the new office I was going to since we moved. And I can say that I'm just so happy with them, with the doctors, the nurse practitioner, and the midwife that did deliver me, and she was awesome. And I'm really happy that I found them. They're a small little office, but yeah, it turned out great, and they're great, and I'll go into that more in my labor and delivery story video. But I think that kind of sums it up for 30 to 39 weeks, because I delivered her 30, it was almost 40 weeks. My due date was August 14th, but when I had the ultrasound at 32 weeks, they said she was measuring 8 days ahead. So my due date was the 6th. But when I went to my midwife, she was like, well, we're just going to stick with the first due date. If the 6 comes and you have her, then great. If it doesn't and the 14 comes and you have her, then great. She's like, the due date is just, a guess. It's just a date that they go off of, and I couldn't even remember the first day of my last period exactly when I had first went in when I was pregnant. I said it was November 8th, and that was just a guesstimate. I was close, but you know what I mean. So if your due date, if you don't have your baby on your due date, you have her before, you have the baby after, or the day of, it's just one of those things, I had to keep telling myself not to think about it. Sorry, my computer light went off. That's what I'm using for lighting. But anyways, so yeah, I had her in the middle of those 2 days. So, you could say I was 3 days late, or you could say I was 5 days early, however you want to look at it. But I think that really sums it up. Pregnancy was awesome. It was a beautiful experience. It was one of the hardest things that I did until I gave birth. Because everything seems hard until you find something that makes that situation seem easier. And then that seems like the hardest thing. And then there's going to be something that'll come up. And, I mean, labor is always going to be such an accomplishment for me. How I went about doing it. And so, yeah, I just thank you guys for who watched me the 29 weeks that I did videos, and I'm sorry that I did have to stop, but this is just kind of explaining why. Clearly very hectic, and I didn't even put everything in there. I just kind of put the big, gallbladder, everything that happened and occurred. So, if you want, leave me comments at the bottom, and go watch my labor and delivery video, and all the pictures that I'm going to upload, and videos of her and her nursery and all that good stuff. So be looking out for those videos. Bye.